From coast to coast of Ireland, our old buildings are calling out to be loved and lived in. But restoration is no easy task. Who dares take on the challenge of reclaiming our ruins as homes fit for the future? It's May 2025, and Hugh is visiting the dreamily idyllic 120-year-old model village of Talbot's Inch in County Kilkenny. Summer is in full bloom, but beyond the fanciful brickwork and neat village green, one cottage is looking a little sorry for itself. Hugh is meeting its new owner, archivist Trish Duff, who hopes to sow the seeds of change by restoring it as her home.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you,
Lovely
Trish.
to meet you.
Are
Thanks
you
for
well?
coming.
Love the
Thanks for
garden.
coming. Isn't it beautiful?
Isn't it fabulous?
Fabulous colours.
Great start.
Come on in.
Trish bought the house 14 long months ago, but was forced to divert her restoration enthusiasm into the garden when she discovered asbestos straight away. Several €1,000 later, it's removed and she can start on the house at last.
Oh, work's begun, I see.
Work's begun.
After months of waiting, work has just begun on stripping back the 1960s extension. Trish is a cancer survivor and is waiting for surgery on her leg, so she can't physically help out, but is overseeing grant applications and caring for the heritage of this house, which is a protected structure.
The architecture here is very special, isn't
Very
it?
special, yeah. Designed by William Scott for Lady Desert. And she had a number of businesses here.
Victorian philanthropist Lady Desert paid for the construction of the village to house her workers. It was built to look as if it belonged in an imagined medieval past, but was cutting edge in its construction.
This house was built when?
1906.
So 1906 in mass concrete. Wow.
Yeah.
Was that innovative or what? And the outside of the house looks like stone.
Yes.
But in fact, it's concrete.
Because of the house's special status, any changes here have to be approached with extreme care and with approval from local authorities.
I know of no other village like this in Ireland. For me, this village just encapsulates a sort of a time bubble
It really does.
of arts and craft, of amazing, quirky architecture.
Yeah. Such an honour to have this house here to me.
But it also puts pressure on you.
Because of the house's architectural significance, the biggest changes will happen out the back. Trish's front door opens directly onto the house's original wooden staircase, with the sitting room to the left. At the back of the building is the old kitchen, with a 1960s extension beyond. Trish will adapt the extension using the original walls to save money, to house a dining room opening onto a courtyard with a sitting room, utility and bathroom beyond. Upstairs, the smaller of the 3 bedrooms will become a bathroom, and the signature windows in the eaves to the front and on the ground floor will be carefully restored.
Who's going to be living in this beautiful house when you've it all finished?
So, me, of course, our 2 little cats, and my daughter Sinead, she lives down in Waterford.
Trish sold the family house in Carlow after a divorce and has been staying with her parents since then, making it tricky for Sinead to stay over.
Yeah, she's looking forward to us being able to just spend time together
Be
as a family.
After 14 months of waiting, and with only her cats able to move in, they hope they can move fast now towards completion. But fast work requires ready cash.
You bought the house for how much?
290,000.
Not cheap.
Not cheap, but not dear also. I mean, it's Kilkenny City, you know.
Well,
When you see it like
when
it
you
is
see
today.
the amount of work you have to do.
Yeah, it's absolutely astronomical, yeah.
And did you think you had this amount of work to do?
I had a fair idea. There was rain coming in everywhere. The windows were decayed. Just questions still about some things that are emerging in the structures, about things we need to do in terms of roof repairs upstairs.
Can I ask you, how much money are you spending on the project?
250,000, including the grants, yeah.
So you're getting how much in grants altogether?
80,000, yeah.
80,000.
Yeah, which is fantastic. You know, we couldn't do it without it,
No.
really.
Let's go to the room at the back and have a look at that now.
Okay, come with me.
If you stand here, come over and stand here. So this is the standard height of a window, 2.1 metres.
Yeah.
But it should go up to 2.4. You see the way you can't see the top of the tree?
Yes.
Now walk forward. Look. So now you can see the crown of the tree.
Yeah, you see, that's what I want to be able to see, is to enjoy what's outside.
So when you put the door in here, let the door go up to 2.4.
I like that, Hugh.
Yeah.
I'll have to get you to write it down.
While Hugh's winning, he has another suggestion up his sleeve.
And what I'd recommend is you set the house up for solar panels.
Yes, that's in the
And
plan.
put
Yeah.
the solar panels in the back garden. You don't need to put them on the roof.
Okay.
You could get this house really off-grid for maybe 6-8 months of the year.
I'd love to do that.
She seems enthusiastic, but Hugh may have underestimated Trish's devotion to her garden.
He suggested putting solar panels in the back garden. I think that's the worst idea I ever heard. This isn't a solar farm. This is a garden.
Fair enough. They make their way up the narrow stairs to look at the bedrooms and bathroom. Indoors, every piece of usable timber has to be saved under heritage regulations. The hollow walls have been stripped out, though, to be replaced. But where are the old latticed windows?
Windows, Trish. Give it to me, babe.
Windows are gone away to be restored. And they're going to be restored according to how they would have looked at the start.
With the leaded windows.
With the leaded
like
windows
great.
and with the little handles.
Love it.
And all the hardware that
Yum, yum.
doesn't exist anymore has to be either made
Yeah.
or found
For salvage.
and salvaged.
So what happens now up here?
We're hoping to retain the ceilings. There's a question as to whether the wood is in good enough condition to reinstate or not, so we still have to decide about that. There's been a huge leak over in that corner over there.
Yeah, you probably have a bit of rot going on in the corner with the timber when you
in a
take
couple of
it out.
places there behind you as well where you're standing, there's a few rotten sections there, so they're going to splice those out and put back in new pieces of wood there.
Okay. So for me, the real issue is your yummy woodwork.
Yeah, there's woodworm, yeah, but not in too many places.
Well, it's loving it here.
It is.
I believe you haven't discovered all your little gremlins yet.
Oh, absolutely not. No, I think we've discovered a good few, but we're kind of prepared for surprises.
This whole village is a protected structure.
Yes.
And because probably your house is the first one to be renovated under the new planning guidelines, it's very important that your house is done, you know, dead on.
Trish has employed a contractor who has worked on other houses in the village.
Everyone come along and go, that's what you do. And everyone goes, I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to your journey.
Oh, thanks, Hugh. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. So they said about 10 weeks. They're going to be finished in 10 weeks by the end of the summer, so we'll wait and see.
The builders?
Yeah?
Oh, I hope you got your Alka-Seltzer. Going to need your Alka-Seltzer, darling.
The following day, the unbelievably brief 10-week timeline begins, with the demolition team on site stripping back the 1960s extension. Builder John Taylor and his team make short work of the plasterboard and modern frames, a very different approach to the careful conservation work which the old house will require. However, as the modern structure comes away, a problem emerges.
I had a phone call from John yesterday, late in the afternoon, saying, Trish, can you come over? We need to go through something with you. And we went around the back of the house and he explained that the foundations that are there are a screed basically on an old yard that was there and they didn't put in any foundations. We talked a lot about it, but the only solution really is that that has to come down.
They had planned to keep the extensions walled, but with no foundations, that's no longer possible. Builder John is pragmatic about the setback.
Yeah, look, the people just built within their means, so they're not up to standards now, and we can't really put a new structure onto those, so we need to remove them and start afresh and put it in properly.
For Trish, though, it means she will need to find more money.
The figure that's been thrown around is 40,000, which is scary, really, you know, because we don't have 40,000 in our purse, you know. But the work has to keep going and the job has to get done.
As the entire extension is knocked away, Trish has to rethink her layout plans. Modern building regulations mean that the new extension's wall needs to be further from the neighbour's wall than the original one.
She's going to lose probably the width of the cavity wall that will be forming because we can't build right on the edge of the foundation.
So it's really just a bit of a disaster.
With the footprint of the building suddenly changed, the old plans no longer work. Trish needs to scramble to create new ones, while John fires ahead to get the job finished within the planned timeline.
It is unusual to start before a set of finished plans are done, but I have a timeline I need to try and keep, so I need to keep progressing.
It's a big challenge to get new plans in place fast enough for John to work from. So Hugh has come up with a new solution, which will make all the difference and deliver decisions fast.
Now, Trish, lights, camera, action. You're home.
Amazing.
Look at that.
Wow.
Hugh has brought Trish to life-size plans in Dublin's Ballyfermot.
What a brilliant idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Trish's house plans are projected full scale, allowing us to visualise potential layouts in 3 dimensions and move walls and furniture.
So now we're walking in the whole door. We have the staircase.
Trish's staircase is closed in behind a wooden wall.
The first thing we're going to do, Trish, is we're going to get rid of this wall.
That's right. Yep.
I'm a master builder. You see,
So
I'm
I
good.
see.
I'm good at demolition.
Yeah, very good. Fantastic.
Now, what that does, Trish, is all of a sudden it makes the room feel much wider,
Yeah.
but it also makes your staircase feel wider.
I thought today was really impressive because when you see your house plans and you're trying to imagine it with the measuring tape going, what's that going to look like here? What's that going to look like there? And really it was very hard to get a sense of how things are going to look.
And from here was the original extension,
Yes.
which has now been blitzed. So I think what we should do is have a transition room.
Yep. Good
you like
idea.
that?
I love it.
Love a transition.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm walking through this space and I'm into what's going to be your new sunroom.
Yeah,
which is
fantastic.
now the full width.
Yes.
The main living room should be the width of the building, making the most of the sunlight. This change also makes up for the space lost because of the problem with the lack of foundations.
Because we have to take down the side wall that's beside my neighbour, I was worried how it was going to affect the drawings for the interior and what that was going to look like. So Hugh really helped today to show me how it's going to actually work.
The life-size team helps out, moving walls at their every whim.
I love the miracle. I love coming here
Yeah.
because it's very difficult to move walls around on site, and the builder seems to get emotional.
The plans we had before chucked out the window, and I think we have some more new plans today.
With new plans in place, Builder John and his team are able to keep up their incredible pace, and Trish can hold on to her dream of moving in at the end of summer, providing a home base for herself and her daughter Sinead.
Being back in Kilkenny means a lot to me and my mum because it's where we had our house originally. It's where we got a massive draw for arts, culture, heritage, and it's just a place that just means a lot in our heart and our soul.
County Kilkenny is known for its vibrant art scene, which comes to full bloom in the summer months.
When I lived outside Kilkenny in the countryside, those arts and culture things that I love to go to and work with weren't so accessible to me. So coming back to Kilkenny City to be in the heart of all of that arts and culture is just a really exciting time.
Trish's busy life includes volunteering at local festivals and part-time work at the Design and Crafts Council Gallery in Kilkenny's Castle Yard. She has to juggle this with planning for the house.
It feels busy, and I guess I am busy. The house is taking up a lot of time.
While Trish sources and orders fittings so as to keep action flowing, on site, John is keen to stick to the schedule.
Damon is doing block work, and after that then we are straight onto roof then hopefully within the next 10 days.
John has a clear idea what's held his fastidious timeline up, and Hugh is in the frame.
We're about a week behind, really. When we have 2 architects involved, it was always going to be a bit of a to and fro exercise.
The change to the plans caused by the lack of foundations meant delays in key orders.
With the delay, we didn't get to order the windows, so we only ordered those about a week and a half ago. So there's a 6 to 8 week period for windows, so it's going to interrupt the timeline.
Nevertheless, the new block work flies up fast. The project's architect, Barry Lynch, is pleased with progress, but his primary focus is on the historic fabric of the old building.
What are the things that are of real interest that accumulate to give the building its importance? The idea of best conservation practice sometimes can be a difficult principle to live by, but Trish has been leading the way with regard to repair rather than replace and all the good principles of best conservation practice.
But the biggest progress for the old house is happening off-site. Trish is calling into Sheridan Stained Glass in Kells.
So, Sean, what you can do is put the pad on, pretending that you're working. You're good at that.
The big dream was to bring the house back to its original state. And that meant keeping as much of the original fabric of those windows as possible.
Trish's leaded windows were some of the last originals to remain in the village and were perfect examples of the arts and crafts style. However, damp in the house and broken panes had left them in a state which many might have considered unsavable.
The window is in very bad nick, and the lead has all the joints and that are broken on it, and it's obviously very, very weak. It's practically, they're falling asunder.
Craftsperson Joe Sheridan has taken on the significant challenge of restoring her rotted and damaged windows.
On this one here, we've taken the glass out of the lead, so we tried to bring it back to the old original glass, and I've salvaged a lot of them from old windows.
I was really impressed that Mary and Seamus, who owned my house, had improvised. So instead of destroying what was left of windows, they patched them up with bits of things. Like I found a bit of glass like you'd have at the top of a fridge, between the drawer at the bottom of a fridge.
While the previous owners of Trish's home did their best to keep the original windows in place, Trish has invested a significant chunk of her budget on saving them, as well as spending time applying for the Built Heritage Investment Grant, which made the project possible.
There was a lot of work behind making the application, and we got €20,000 for funding, which is pretty phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, I have to come up with quite a lot of money to meet the cost of it, but it's so well worth it.
Joe and his team have embarked on a multi-stage process to make the windows function again, starting with the rotten frames.
So here, Trish, these are the restored windows, old windows, yes. And as you can see, this is the new timber sill that's on it. And this is the original. It was soaking in water all of the time.
There isn't even a woodworm in it, Joe.
Trish, to be honest with you, this is so bad, even a woodworm wouldn't live in it.
So this is spliced into...
This is spliced into this. Yeah, this is old and this is the new. And you can see there where the joints are on it here. You see where it's fixed in here.
What an amazing job.
Joe's team has spliced old wood with new.
Are there many people around the country like you that do this kind of work?
There's not that many, no.
Yeah.
There's not that many. We are losing a lot of our traditional skills, and I'd love to see more an emphasis on educating more craftspeople to continue our trades. And it's not just in stained glass windows. It's in lead workers, it's thatching. There's fantastic traditional skills being lost.
I'm overwhelmed today looking at the windows because we knew they were in terrible state, but we didn't realise how terrible they actually were. I can't wait to see them back in the house. Glimmering.
Back at the house in July, there's no glimmering, just hard labour to keep the project steaming forward.
Today we're getting the roof structure on, and then we are going to start getting the insulation down and the vapour barrier. And we're going to try and get it waterproof by Wednesday if we can, all going to plan.
Magic John, I think everybody knows now we call him Magic John. John is just absolutely phenomenal. I feel really lucky to have him.
John's team work at speed, closing in the roof before the morning's out. In the afternoon, Hugh is popping in for a catch-up with Trish. John's agreed to take a rare half an hour off to join them. Upstairs in the old house, John has stripped the roof back to the rafters to assess the level of damage from damp.
Up here, what I think is just such a joy is being able to see the original craftsmanship of creating this roof.
The roof is very interesting. You see the kind of king post structure up there?
I do.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Really, really, really nice.
Every part of this house is a gem of architectural history. Unfortunately, that does not make it easily livable.
The house at the moment is probably a G-rated energy house. Would that be fair?
I say F for freezing.
There we go. And where are you hoping to get to?
It has to be past B2.
Okay, and that allows you to go to an air-to-water.
It does, yeah.
In a heritage house like this, every element is significant. It's an honour to own, but limits choices. In the new extension, John's team are already fitting the air tightness membrane. But back indoors, it's a challenge to find workarounds in order to respect the building's heritage fabric while also aiming for sustainability.
We needed to get insulation into the slope sections. But to do that, them roofs would have been originally attached, so the structure wouldn't be there to hold the weight. So we've had to bring in a structural engineer to specify how to take the load onto the roof. It mightn't sound like much, but the insulation and the insulated slabs all going into that space does put a burden on it. So we're in the process now of restructuring the roof, so we had to do a bit of temporary propping.
As well as supporting the roof with props, John has to replace a great deal of rotten century-old timber. Heritage guidelines mean that, as Joe Sheridan did with the windows, he must splice old with new instead of replacing. Today, he and his team are dealing with the most rotten corner, which Hugh noticed on day one.
I think it's given up all its secrets now at this stage, I hope.
While John is forced to slow his speed to painstakingly patch up the old roof timbers, Trish is facing her own challenges, trying to raise loans on a single income in order to make her home happen.
We weren't sure would we have enough money, really. The issue really was that you had to forload those yourself, you know, from savings and borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. So it's been very stressful trying to get those over the line. Anybody that does that will know that it's an awful time. The amount of paperwork is just phenomenal. You send in your paperwork and then they come back and there's questions and there's more questions and more questions, and it seems just to be this never-ending.
She's working full-time, but Trish will need to get funds in place fast if builder John is to stick to the timetable of creating a home for her and her daughter within 3 months. Fifty-something archivist Trish Duff has bought an historic arts and crafts cottage in the County Kilkenny model village of Talbot's Inch. She needs to find funds to complete her new home fast as a base for herself, her cats and her adult daughter Sinead. It's August, only 2 months from her planned move-in date, and Hugh is bringing Trish to Dublin to visit a house from the same era as her own. As at Talbot's Inch, ornamental brickwork makes the ordinary extraordinary.
Oh, impressive.
It's a beautiful hall, isn't it?
Incredible.
Inside, leaded windows, stained glass and elegant joinery celebrate arts and crafts design at its finest. At the back of the house, the modern extension's vast windows frame the highlights of a garden composed for colour.
I loved that Acer.
It's beautiful.
Looking back here, you've got that lovely big window, the courtyard, and this window. You've great light, high ceiling.
Yeah.
This home combines striking modern functionality in the kitchen and utility while allowing heritage feature space to shine.
Now look at this beautiful room. This home, funny enough, isn't dissimilar to yours. You have that great view through now. Your kitchen through the window out to your courtyard. I love the panel with the glazing and the French door out to the courtyard outside.
Beautiful. And the detail of the finishing in the room with the beautiful double coving and then the gorgeous brass hardware that they have for the curtains. It's absolutely just beautiful. The little latches and all those little details that just really add to these spaces, don't they?
Isn't this terrific?
It's glorious.
I love the contrast between the old part of the house and coming in here.
It's fantastic.
The use of materials in the home is fabulous.
All the natural materials we see, like the brick and the limestone, which I presume is from Kilkenny, and the lovely light timber woods, and that they've got the very traditional kind of Edwardian style table and chairs.
Fabulous
But it
chairs.
looks beautiful.
Look at those chairs.
It just all looks magnificent together.
The eye for detail here adds to the livability.
So you've got green fingers, and these homeowners have green fingers. I just love the way they've used trees and planting to give privacy.
It's very impressive the way they've developed the screening of the trees at the sides of the house in the courtyard. Is glorious. The tree planting and everything is going to take a few years, but the plan is similar. So the house is a very good choice for me for inspiration.
Trish has organised for her conservation architect Barry Lynch to give a talk about the house for Heritage Week. But while he's there, he's noticed an issue with the way the house's cast concrete blocks are joined together.
The pointing on this building it's what's called a wigging pointing, which is applied in this case to cast concrete blockwork. That's quite unusual. The pointing has been lost from a couple of exposed locations due to probable frost heave storm damage.
Wigging is more commonly seen on Georgian brick houses.
These houses were built by local craftspeople, and the architect was a Dublin-based architect, William Scott, and I would suggest that this trade may have come from the experience of the labourers and the architect.
Architect William Alphonsus Scott was described by poet William Butler Yeats as the drunken man of genius. Certainly, wigging on the concrete blocks here may not have been an entirely wise choice and may be tricky to fix.
This isn't predominantly found around the village, but is found in just this terrace. And so from that point of view, it's very important that we retain and repair this feature in the house as part of the overall conservation work on this protected structure.
While Barry works out a solution for the damaged wigging, Trish is visiting the National Gallery in Dublin to meet curator of the Centre for the Study of Irish Art, Mary Lynch.
So Trish Talbot's Inch was constructed from 1905 onwards by Lady Desart in order to house workers in her industries, the woolen mills, the Woodworkers Guild. And at this time, a lot of factory workers would have been living in really awful tenement conditions. Whereas at Talbot's Inch, we have these beautiful cottages in which every aspect of the design has been very thoughtfully crafted by the architect and the craftsmen who worked there. I wanted to show you something from our Anthor Glynna archive here. I don't know if you're familiar with the name Anthor Glynna.
I'm not, but you're going to tell me all about it, I think, today. I'm very interested to find out.
So Anthor Glynna, or the Tower of Glass, was a pioneer in stained glass studio. It was established really at the height of the Celtic Revival in 1903 by portrait artist Sarah Purser. And Anthor Glynna, it really established an international reputation for stained glass. Closer to home in Ireland, we've got the Abbey Theatre here, got Lady Gore Booth here. So a lot of the key names from the period and a lot of the important buildings of that time. Now, I wanted to show you this particular page, Trish. I don't know if you recognise any names here on this page.
And there he jumps out, William Alphonsus Scott, Esquire.
Yes, indeed. So these are a series of orders from the architect, William Alphonsus Scott. So he was one of, I suppose, a handful of architects practicing in Ireland at that time that really supported Anthor Glynna from the get-go with church design commissions. But in fact, in order to stay afloat, the studio also relied on commissions for domestic windows, for plain glazing.
It's little known, but this celebrated glass studio also sometimes took on orders for residential homes.
So here we have a series of orders for model cottages at Kilkenny.
That's
here.
Yeah, wow.
Talbot's Inch features in the order book.
We know the studio was purchasing Irish glass from the bottle works in Ringsend. So I'll just show you very quickly here. So this is just an order sheet for Dublin Bottle Works here.
Designed for bottles, glass from the Ringsend factory was cheap, thick and hardy.
So the glass in your house, Trish, I think the panes are probably a bit thicker than modern glass. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's very distinctive. So when you look at it and when you walk by, you can see the wave in the glass, which of course is when it was blown and rolled.
These kind of thicker panes would very much match the profile of what Anthor Glynna was producing and obtaining from the Ringsend Bottleworks factory.
Trish's distinctive glass reveals that the windows in her little house are likely to have been designed and made by this internationally acclaimed pioneering stained glass studio.
You've kind of preserved something quite special here with these windows. These cottages played a part in the story of Anthor Glynna, particularly in its early years. And so you have essentially preserved something of our national design heritage with the windows here.
Really, really amazing discovery. Thank you.
You're very
I'm
welcome.
just enthralled. I'm just enthralled.
You're very welcome.
Trish's house is revealing its significance more and more by the day. At the end of August, Hugh is back on site to see how its new extension is taking shape.
Now, the extension is just terrific, isn't it? So, tell me about your budget.
Well, first of all, the surprise was the asbestos.
Toxic asbestos is one heritage building feature Trish will not be holding on to.
Yes, the asbestos update. So the house just keeps giving asbestos to us because areas that weren't accessible couldn't be explored until John revealed more upstairs last week. We found more asbestos over the window that they had to redo. So that was a bit scary. And the asbestos has kept giving. So we found more asbestos in the kitchen and we found it under the stairs. And a few days ago, we found more upstairs when they took out the windows. So that has added up to quite a huge cost, nearly 15,000.
So that's the total additional cost of what?
I could kind of guess 55 or 60,000, I suppose,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
So I've had to take out a loan, which is waiting approval, but I'm hoping it's going to be fine. But it's worrying because the guys need to get paid.
With the budget stretched beyond capacity, Trish has had to make some hard decisions.
What type of windows are going in now in here?
Well, we have to go with the old PVC, unfortunately. I know you're not a lover of the PVC, and neither am I, but the budget isn't just there to put in the timber.
That would leave Trish with national treasure windows at the front and plastic at the back.
You have to do a timber window there. You can't use a PVC. Honestly, true. Even for that window, you just can't use a PVC
Or
window.
even aluminium, maybe.
No, use a PVC. Get a timber window.
You see, you said PVC, you nearly fell into the trap.
I did. No, you're...
The budget isn't there at the moment. It is what it is, I think. And everything has been ordered and they'll be here in about 5 weeks.
The drive to get the project finished at all has forced Trish to be pragmatic.
So that's been put to bed. I'll still be thinking about it tonight, though. Think, oh, should I have or should I not have? No, it's too late. It's done. We're not going back. So
Right.
to compromise with the windows is something I just have to
do. So you need to win the lotto.
need to win the lotto, yeah.
Okay.
While Trish scrambles for finances, work must move on if she's not to lose her builder John, who has other jobs to move on to after hers. By September, the blistering summer heatwave is consigned to memory, and so is Trish and John's planned 10-week turnaround. She won't be in by September, but John's team are firing on all cylinders to hit the new deadline of November.
Most of the structure all finished off now. The roof is all insulated on the existing building. And we have the dry lads coming in, slabbing then out the building then as well. Lads are on top of each other there now at the moment, just to keep the progress going.
Trying to keep up with the builder is keeping me really busy because I'm running behind them because things have really just spiraled to the house is just full of people all the time.
Trish may not be able to move in yet, but her cats Pixie and Bubbles have already taken residence and made it clear that the village is their territory.
There isn't a mouse or a rat left in the place, I would say.
To hasten Trish joining the cats at Talbot's Inch, she must make decisions about her finishes. Her mother Catherine and daughter Sinead are helping her through the process. Trish has taken over her mother's kitchen table with the sample she's collected.
You've got a few things there.
I got a few things. Do you like these? Terrazzo tiles. They're cool, aren't they?
Amazing.
Where are they for?
They are for the downstairs bathroom.
They're gorgeous.
They're really nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I thought they were for the dinner.
And then the paint colours are looking really
A
interesting.
minefield.
So, minefield is 120 colours or something.
That's a lovely colour. It's very fashionable at the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to choose colours. And
Very
you
difficult.
always wonder if it's right.
You always wonder, is it right?
Well, how close are you to painting walls?
I guess about 3 weeks. Yeah, he's booked.
Blimey,
Mark is booked.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So once the timber floors go down and the tiling is done, they can start painting. So it's going
Great.
to all happen quite quickly, I think.
Yeah, it's going to fly along now.
While Trish hopes to fly through new interiors choices, back at Talbot's Inch, she's facing a setback in her bid to save what remains of the original finishes.
About a month ago, we were a bit shocked to see the tiles had broken in the house. Somebody had put, just an accident, somebody had put that we were trying to mind on top of the fireplace and the tiles got broken. And we were all very alarmed and wondered what we'd do next. So I just collected them up and I put them all in a bucket. That's just some of them there. And I learned how to repair them. So I repaired about a half dozen tiles and we needed 20, so we have 20. Another bit of conservation work done.
Repair skills acquired at the start of October with the abundance of autumn. Trish's investment in heritage is coming into fruit. Today, Joe Sheridan and his team are reinstalling the newly restored windows.
But I'm just over the moon. The workmanship is just incredible. And I have such respect and regard for these artisan craftspeople we have in our community. It's a perfect example of really well restored rather than replaced windows. You know, the level of detail and the authenticity of the work that's been done is just extraordinary, really. And I get excited by it. You know, that's just how I am.
You happy, Trish?
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It's transformed, John.
It's lovely, lovely.
This is brilliant, and everybody's coming down admiring them. Speaking of which, there's another person driving by to have a gawk. So yeah, it's been a fun day.
Joe is the hero of the hour.
Did you bring the scones today, Trish, or what's the story? Because I brought them the last day. I thought I'd have scones and coffee here today. I'm very disappointed. Are you, John?
I never got that.
Oh, did you not? You're on the big bucks, though, John, you see. That's the difference.
You would talk.
With or without scones, Magic John is still keen to keep things moving forward fast.
She's drip feeding us information at the moment, so I'm going to have to sit her down now in the next day or two now and finalise out the actual plan of what way we're going to finish this. But the timeline and the dates are very by the point, so I have to have all the different contractors in on the dates that they're booked in. If I lose them or we have any mishaps in between, they're going to be gone to a different job and could knock the whole thing back a week or two. So it's very crucial now. Everyone lands when they land and get in and get out. It's going to be fairly hectic here for the next 4 weeks.
We're down to the last weeks, just before John and that team finish up. And I'm really keen just that we don't forget the details of the old house in the rush of getting the new section finished. We couldn't do work around on the old ceiling, but I'm hoping that we're going to be able to use some of it in the house because it's really, really important to me. And the other thing we're trying to hold on to tightly is the old original clay tiles. Hoping that we'll have enough to put them back down in the kitchen and that they can be cleaned up. I'm just hoping that we can make it work because it's all adding on extra cost. And it's constantly worrying me and the questions, but I'm just hoping that we can get this over the line, please.
On a November morning at the end of 2025, the model village of Talbot's Inch is glistening under the first frost of winter. The arts and crafts cottages are Christmas card idyllic. And though Trish Duff's new home is yet to receive a new coat of exterior paint, Hugh is visiting to see whether she got the interior complete before Builder John moves on to his next project.
Hello.
A beautiful day in Kilkenny.
Great to see
How are
you.
you?
And she's in.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Trish,
Love
isn't
it.
it fantastic? Love the staircase.
Onward through the pretty front room to the kitchen at the back of the old house, where the UPVC windows are doing a great job.
Beautiful sunlight. Isn't it wonderful to stand here and see all the natural light and sunshine coming in?
Yeah.
What I was struck by is your recognition of the importance of the architectural heritage of this home.
It's the tiny little details that make this house really characterful. These timbers on the ceiling here, for example, you can see the saw marks from the sawmills in the timber work.
Wow.
The kitchen ceiling was the only section salvageable from the timber ceiling upstairs.
The builders dedicated themselves to cleaning it up and putting it back and make it fit here in the kitchen.
Isn't that wild?
Trish reinstated another previously unknown original feature in these last few busy weeks.
So when you walk into the home, you've changed the staircase.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference to the
Yeah.
room.
The staircase now opens towards the fireplace instead of directly to the front door.
It was only when I went to visit one of my new neighbours into her house, and I said, "What's the story with the stairs?" And she said, "That's the way the house was built." I said, "I wonder could we put it back in my house?" So I spoke to John about it, and he said they could still see the marks on the timber where the original stairs had been. Now that it's back there, you can see that that's actually the way it should have been. It feels right, you know.
The last-minute stair change reinstated the natural flow of the house. Here in the kitchen, changes to the plans have also added to the sense of space.
Because the room is now the full width of the house, it just looks so much bigger.
Yeah.
The house looks so much bigger. It's very interesting. I thought this kitchen would be really tight and small,
Yeah, no.
but it's not.
No, I think the colours as well have worked very well.
To balance Trish's investment in saving heritage features, she searched around for a second-hand kitchen.
I spent €1,700 on the kitchen. I got the island with the oak top unit, and I got this big pantry here behind me as well.
John made time to relay the original floor tiles.
The builders committed to doing their absolute best to save as many as they could, and we had enough to do this whole room. And a few of them are a little bit patchy, but I think that's part of the story of the house.
But I think that's very important.
Yeah, it is
that,
important.
That you are keeping the history
Yeah.
and retaining it
Yeah.
and exposing it.
The lovingly reinstated original features in the old house meet the modern extension at the transition room, alongside the downstairs bathroom.
And you've lovely views through from here out to the garden. For me, I think it's amazing because I was here for the first time 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And here we are walking into your dream home. And I think that's an extraordinary journey over such a short period.
But to get upset, sorry.
No, but you went to so much trouble, Trish.
It's just been incredible, really. Trying to keep it all going at times is really, really difficult, you know.
Trish couldn't help out physically on this project, but despite health issues, she worked closely with her architect, her builder, and with the local council's heritage team to drive it along, combining care for detail with an incredible pace.
You've a real passion, and there's not an awful lot of people would have taken this house on. So often, conservation officers are faced with the dilemma of somebody coming in saying, I'm going to rewire the house, pull everything apart, insulate the home, and all the conservation officers are hearing is the loss of the architectural fabric. And because you engaged with them, all the original fabric of this home is still there. I think, you deserve a big clap on the back.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
Honestly, because this is an inspirational house. So many people are put off by being afeared of owning a home that's a protected structure. But it's the how you engage and how you respect the architectural heritage of the home makes the difference. And if you can get the conservation officer on your side so that you're being honest in how you're approaching things, they are there and they will assist and help. Trish, let's go and have a look upstairs.
Okay.
Trish and John had to make changes to the upstairs roof and ceiling in order to insulate. It was a challenge to maintain the heritage cottage feel, but at the turn of the stair, it's clear that they've achieved it and more.
Smashing. Coming up here is just wonderful because there's a real sense of spaciousness. But also you've got these wonderful forms and shapes of the roof which come into your bedroom.
The whole roof, yeah. And there's some really interesting angles over the window in the bathroom. The plasterer did an amazing job.
John and his team insulated the unusually shaped roof by shoring up the old timbers, which couldn't support added weight, with new ones.
The great thing is this is now fully insulated. You brought the whole home from freezing to amazing. and the floor came up fantastic. And you see the woodworm.
Some people try and fill all that in. No, I like that it looks the way it should be.
The colour of the timber is beautiful.
It's like a honey, isn't it lovely? Yeah, it's beautiful.
Trish has kept the patina of this house's 1 1/4 centuries on show. From the floorboards to the textures of the walls and the glass of the windows.
In restoring the windows, you've been able to conserve the glass.
We've almost all the original glass.
Oh, wonderful.
So all those little details are just parts of the story, aren't they?
And your bed's great.
Haven't slept in it yet. So
Well, should we do that together tonight?
All right. It's big enough. It's king size.
Should we get in
Squeeze
there
in.
and have a cuddle?
And the cats.
Yeah, and the cats can join us.
Cat cuddle plans in place. Hugh wants to get down to the nitty-gritty of how Trish made her cosy home happen against the odds of time and money.
You originally were going to be 4 months on this project, and I said, not a chance. But you did it in 6. You bought the house for how much?
290,000.
Wow.
I know you thought it was a lot of money then.
Wow, I still think it's so much money. I have to tell you, your relationship in understanding the grant system in Ireland has made a huge difference to you on this project. Would that be fair?
Absolutely, because there's no way I would have been able to have that money myself to do this work.
You got the derelict and vacant property grant.
That's right.
You'd applied for how much?
50,000.
But in fact, you got.
We got the 70,000.
Then you were able to get the SEAI grant in terms of upgrading the energy efficiency of the entire house.
That's phenomenal. I got 23,000 in grant funding from SEAI for that work.
And then you're also able to avail of the heritage grants.
The grant funded me 15,000, but I got a big surprise about a month ago. I got a lovely email on a Monday morning to say that there was remaining monies that hadn't been picked up, and they were giving me an extra 15,000.
Which is amazing.
It's amazing. So I got 30,000 from Kilkenny County Council.
So it's about 130,000 in total.
That is a huge amount of money.
And then how much did you have to spend?
I spent about 200. It's a lot of money on a house.
The total spend was just under €330,000.
Have you enjoyed the journey?
Not always, I haven't. I have to be honest and say I didn't. I mean, there were times I thought, why am I doing this? They're so challenging, because the work you have to do around the administration of grant applications, and there's all the different documentations that you need to support all those applications, can be extraordinarily complex. But I'd say to anybody thinking about taking on a project like this, just look hard at what money is available. But you have to have strong will and believe that you can do it, because it can be done.
You do?
Yeah.
And you've shown it?
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm looking forward to spending many happy years here.
Just think about it. 1900, and employees who worked in the mills lived in absolutely appalling conditions. Along comes Lady Desert, and she creates this amazing village for her workers, using really cutting-edge technology at the time in terms of construction. Roll on to 2025. Along comes Trish, and what Trish has shown us in this project is that you can conserve our architectural heritage and bring it up to today's environmental standards in terms of heating. What she has done has no impact on the architectural statement that this village has, which is absolutely unique. Hats off to Trish. I just love this home.